In the wide world of sport, it's often said that a week is a long time. If that's true, then how does one quantify a decade spent in the front line? From an Argentine riverbank to a Zambian graveyard, Transworld Sport has circumnavigated the globe in search of the true soul of sport.
I've got something to show you.
So where do we start? One of our first major expeditions took us to Calgary for the 1988 Winter Olympics. The Jamaican bobsleigh team may not have had the smoothest of runs, but when we caught up with them back in the Caribbean, they were as cool as ever. Amongst the Calgary gold medalists, the Italian skier Alberto Tomba, surely one of sport's biggest stars over the past decade, and just one of the multitude of athletes profiled on the show.
I am not an easy guy to live with. I'm moody at times, I'm told. But rarely.
In case you were wondering, that interview with O.J. Simpson was done by us back in 1988, the same year that we left Calgary to pursue the Olympic flame as it made its way to South Korea. Of course, everyone remembers the Seoul Games for the drug shame of Canada's Ben Johnson. Needless to say, he did not feature in any shortlist for our very first Sports Personality of the Year award. That prize went instead to the American Florence Griffith Joyner, a triple gold medalist in the 100, the 200, and the 4x100 meter relay, and Sergei Bubka, the Soviet pole vaulter. 7 other stars of the world of track and field have received the Waterford Crystal Vase over the past 10 years, among them.
I like to present Carl Lewis with Transworld Sports Trophy for Athlete of the Year and congratulate him for such a wonderful season.
Thank you, Leroy. It couldn't have come from a better teammate and, of course, a better friend. Thank you very much.
American Carl Lewis and Katrin Kraber won for their performances at the 1991 World Championships. As we all know, Kraber was herself later banned for taking illegal drugs. We've just returned from filming with her in Germany, and we'll be bringing you her side of the story in the very near future.
In 1992, at the Barcelona Games, Hasiba Boumerka defied Islamic fundamentalists at home to bring Algeria its first ever Olympic gold. The following year, the phenomenal Wang Zhongsha was honoured for her World Championship gold in the 10,000 metres, as well as for shattering 3 world records. In 1995, we presented our award to Cuba's Fidelia Kirat, who won the 800 metres gold medal at the Gothenburg World Championships. That victory was a remarkable achievement on account of the fact that just 6 months after winning the bronze medal at the Barcelona Olympics, she suffered an horrific domestic accident, which left 40% of her body covered in third-degree burns. When we visited Fidelia soon after, we feared she might never walk, let alone run again. But Kirat's fierce pride and determination have been a lesson to us all over the past 4 years. And last year, American Michael Johnson received the trophy for his unique 200 and 400 metres double in Atlanta.
I am the fastest man in the world, and I feel that, if it comes down to me versus Donovan over 150 meters, which is what's planning to happen at this point, I feel confident that I'll win that race, and I think that most people will at that point consider me the fastest man in the world.
Another Olympic hero is Johan Olaf Koss. The Norwegian speed skater was nominated as our Sportsman of the Year for 1994, not just for his 3 gold medals at the Lillehammer Games, but also for his humanitarian work with Olympic Aid. We travelled with Johan and American swimmer Summer Sanders to war-torn Rwanda in 1996. Images at once tragic and uplifting left an indelible imprint on all of us and provide a constant reminder of how important sport is as a vehicle for peace and understanding.
If you give a football to a child, they know exactly what to do with it. If you give a basketball, again, they know what to do with it. And they start interacting with them and they start playing. It doesn't matter the differences they have between them.
The global appeal of basketball that Koss mentions is something our cameras can bear witness to. We've found hoop heaven in the Arctic tundra of Alaska, on the humid hard courts of the Philippines, and on a Greek stage, to name but three. But if ever a sport owed its popularity to one person, then that sport is basketball, and that man is Michael Jordan.
Thanks a lot, and it certainly will be treasured for a long period of time.
Frankly, Mike could have won the award pretty much every year, but he's only won it once in 1993 for leading his beloved Bulls to their third consecutive NBA championship. Since then, we've eaten in his restaurant, bought his book, hey, we even saw him try his hand at baseball. There may be no disputing Michael Jordan's status as the best basketball player of all time, but debate still rages as to who is the greatest ever boxer. We asked two of the noble art's most respected men to give us their verdict on the best pound-for-pound fighter in history.
I regard the greatest fighter pound for pound to be Muhammad Ali, and we shall discuss that because I know you don't agree.
Nah. By his own assessment, the Louisville Lip was in a class of his own, but two other fighters were unanimous picks for the accolade of best pound-for-pound fighter of all time.
So we basically agree on Henry Armstrong as one of the all-time greats.
Almost on a parallel, if not on a parallel, with Sugar Ray Robinson, yes.
Sugar Ray and Homicide Hank may have been our experts' choices, but this debate will never cease. Bill Caton's extraordinary archive of old fights also provided us with the raw material for another boxing series, The Great Heavyweights, which featured the likes of Rocky Marciano, Ingemar Johansson, Max Schmeling, and Archie Moore, who we caught up with at home in San Diego with his daughter.
Another global sport and close relation of boxing is wrestling. If there's one thing we've learned about this sport, it's that wrestlers come in all shapes and guises. Take the Nardam Festival in Mongolia, for example. Or what about the Turkish sport of Yawla, or oil wrestling? In Switzerland, the Schweißdeutsch have their own brand called Schwingen. And in Africa, so do the Senegalese. In fact, every country does it their own way. And the Japanese way? About 400 pounds. And to prove the eccentricity of the English, we proudly present the Cumberland Wrestlers.